Shipping qualification is a critical extension of the stability program. Biologics often travel globally between the manufacturing sites, distribution center, hospital, and the patients. Transportation introduces the risk including the temperature excursion, vibration, shock, pressure changes, and the handling damage. The shipping qualification demonstrates that the product quality remains unaffected throughout the transport. Why shipping qualification is necessary? Shipping qualification provides the documented evidence that the transportation does not adversely affect the product quality. It supports the GTP and GMP compliance while reducing the supply chain risk. Qualification studies simulate or challenge the product under worst case shipping condition. Regulators increasingly expect the scientifically justified transportation control supported by data. Key qualification factors. Several critical factors influence the shipping qualification. Temperature range must align with the product stability data. Packaging system must provide the thermal protection and the physical integrity. Transportation routes should consider seasonability, custom delays, and the environmental extremes. Load configuration and the packaging density may also impact the performance, and each factor contributes to overall shipping robustness. Types of shipping qualification. Shipping qualifications generally follow three phases. Design qualification establishes the initial shipping system suitability. Operational qualification uses the controlled stress testing such as ISTA protocol to challenge the packaging system. Performance qualification evaluates actual shipping lanes under real-world condition, and together these phases establish confidence in the transportation performance. Regulators expect complete documentation for all shipping qualification activities. Protocol, raw data, deviation, investigation, CAPA, and the final reports must be maintained. Documentation should clearly demonstrate that the transportation risks have been adequately assessed and controlled. These data may be included within regulatory submission or the inspection packages. There is no specific guideline available for the shipping qualification or the transportation study. Several regulatory framework governs the stability and transportation activities. ICHQ-1 and ICHQ-5C define the stability expectations. FDA 21 CFR Part 211 establishes the requirement for storage and distribution control. EU GDP guideline provides the transportation expectation throughout distribution network. WHO guidance support the global management of temperature-sensitive medicine products. Together, these requirements establish worldwide regulatory expectations. A fundamental regulatory expectation is justification of worst-case conditions. Worst-case simulation should challenge the product beyond routine operating condition while remaining scientifically realistic. Example include the maximum transit duration, highest ambient temperatures, lowest temperature, multiple handling events, and the shipping delays. The rationale for selected worst case condition must be clearly documented. A typical shipping qualification workflow begins with risk assessment. Next comes study design and the route selection. Packaging systems are then qualified and monitoring devices are deployed. Products are shipped under simulated or the real condition. Pre and post shipment testing evaluates the product quality, and finally results are documented in the qualification report supporting regulatory compliance. Drug substance versus drug product. Shipping considerations differ significantly between drug substance and the drug product. Drug substance is typically shipped in bulk container and often undergoes fewer handling steps. Drug product is presented in a final dosage form and directly impacts the patient. Consequently, regulators generally apply greater scrutiny to the drug product shipping qualification and the stability support. Small molecules are generally chemically stable and often tolerate the room temperature storage. Biologics are fundamentally different. Proteins may undergo aggregation, oxidation, fragmentation, deamidation, and the potency loss. Temperature excursion can have immediate quality impact. Therefore, biologics require robust cold chain control supported by extensive stability data. Critical parameters for shipping qualification includes the temperature range, transit duration, packaging design, monitoring strategy, shipment configuration, analytical testing plans. Each parameter should be justified through risk assessment and linked to the product specific stability characteristics. These factors collectively determine the robustness of the transportation strategy. This final slide summarizes the common regulatory questions received from the agencies. Reviewers frequently request additional real-time stability data, degradation pathway characterization, freeze-thaw studies, in-use stability support, forced degradation data, extractable and leachable assessments, and shipping qualification justification. For biologics, transportation qualification and stability data often become the critical review topic because product quality can be highly sensitive to the environmental stress. A proactive, scientifically justified stability strategy significantly reduces the regulatory risk and facilitates successful approval. And with that, thank you. And there is a key takeaway message for the audience. For biologics, stability is not simply a shelf life exercise, it is a comprehensive life cycle strategy including the molecular degradation, patient use, packaging, interaction, transportation, and the regulatory compliance. Stability data ultimately demonstrate that every dose administered to a patient remains safe, pure, potent, and effective throughout its intended life cycle.